All right, and welcome back. My trigger for my my mic didn't go off, but either way, welcome back. I am Bahamut, your caster. We have an NGS matchup on our hands. On the left hand side, we have Throwing versus, sponsored by Rory. This is a Division B East matchup. Ender DS, yes, I was referring to you. I did update it. Maybe try updating your browser one more time. I don't know. Unless maybe are you using the Twitch app. I don't know how that works. But I just checked it myself, and on my browser it did. Oh, okay, cool. It did work. Wonderful. Perfect. Alrighty, so let me just make sure everything is working. All the sounds are going. A+. Alrighty. I'm going to do that in the future, Ender. That was a really, really good idea. Thank you. I really like that. So, going into this, let's just talk about the overall maps. We had Cursed Hollow banned out by Throwing. Then we had Dragonshire banned out by, sponsored by Rory. Infernal Shrines was picked up by Throwing. And we are going to be going into Tomb of the Spider Queen after this. That was obviously picked up by, sponsored by Rory. So, looking at our draft at this point, we do have Lucio being banned out on the side of sponsored by Rory. Not a bad idea at all. Very strong in the team fight. Could be a little bit of a sign of maybe some sort of dive that they're going to be going for here. And it looks like we're going to have a ban on the side of Throwing. And I think I do know that one of the players on Sponsored by Rory does play Sylvanas. And the other factor to consider here is that she is just very, very strong in a situation like this. So definitely, you know, she's something to worry about in this type of situation. So either way, like that they banned that out. But a quick pickup onto the ETCs by Sponsored by Rory. I actually really like that. Really, overall, I mean, it's a great tank. He's a good spot to start with. Oh, it's good. Really, really good choice. Okay, cool. I made tea, like, super, super quick, and I was like, oh, I hope I left the bag in long enough for this. But either way, these next two picks on the side of Throwing, they're only going to get these 1-2 slots before going into the ban phase here. Well, obviously, sponsored by Rory, they're going to get the 2-3 slot before the ban phase. But either way, what my point is in this situation is the fact that they should honestly... What I like to do in these situations is I like to pick up my tank and I like to pick up my healer. I think those are two very strong things because then you have to go to map-specific bans, and that's very hard. So picking up the healer like Stukov, which is phenomenal for a map like this where he has a lot of zone control, as well as just the overall pustule healing that spreads to his teammates, and he has a very good disengage up against that ETC. Admins playing in this match. Yes, there are a lot of admins playing up in this match. That's one thing that we definitely need to note here. Just realizing that my webcam is tilted up a little bit. I don't know how that's happening because I just tilted up my mic and it didn't pop up on stream. Oh, there. All right. Sponsored spelled wrong on purpose. That is... Did I not copy it correct? Now I'm like... Now I'm not looking at draft. I'm looking at all my spelling. Okay, sponsored. Oh, no. Thank you for the title adjustment. My mistake. Let me go ahead and update that. In a flurry of things, I was getting some things updated for stream. Okay, we should be good to go. No, it's I did spell sponsored wrong. I honestly copied pasted it from somewhere, and I honestly just probably lost it in the translation. Either way, I do draw lines for a living. Spelling is not my... I literally what I do for a living is I write in capital letters and draw, I draw straight lines, like, woo. But either way, we have a pickup on the Greymane and Jaina here. So it's really, really strong on the Shrine for sponsored by Rory here. I really like that. And a mouth ban. Not a bad idea. Now, to be honest, I haven't really had enough time to dig into the changes that have gone into Malfurion. All I've just been hearing is that he's really strong. I got to cast him last night, but once again, it was one of those things like I didn't have time to sit there and analyze because I was like, there's too many cool things happening on the screen right now. But looking over at just Twitch chat, still fits. I mean, it works. I mean, sponsored. I mean... I don't know how I had the spelling before. I'll have to go back into the VOD and check it before I changed it. But either way, thank you for that catch Twitch chat. Also, how you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for swinging by. This isn't also, by the way, just a side note, this isn't the only match. We also have, I believe it's American Tactics versus, no, American Specialists versus Team Conflict. That's going to be at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. But Chromie going to be banned out here. Not a bad idea, mostly because of the fact that she does have a lot of good poke on a map like this. I really like that. So they have really good disengage. Your webcam is tilted every... That's glad. I like that. That was good. That was really good. That was good. Webcam's tilted every match. I like that. But all right, so we do have that Chromie being banned out. We're going into the last half of our draft at this time. Mispronounced on purpose? Unsubscribe. Wow. All right. All right, looking at these drafts, though, we do probably need to consider some sort of shrine burn as well as their damage. I'm just really interested. So they've got this dive from Greymane and ETC. I'm trying to think like what would really work well with them. If they could pick up a Gul'dan. Okay, I like this. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for forgiving me. I really appreciate that. Please don't unsubscribe. But we do have so Diablo being picked up with the Gul'dan. I really like this. So far, that's probably going to be their 4-man, who's going to be rotating between mid and bottom. Gul'dan providing a lot of good clear. Diablo just a lot of good setup. Johanna just offers a lot of good chase as well as bodying. Just a lot of the damage and just setting up and peeling. New mouth feels super strong. That's what I've been hearing. I casted 2 games last night, and he looked really strong. I played against him earlier as a Alex Straza, and I bodied him. But here's the thing. The Nova that played with us, actually, Archangel, the Nova that played with us got MVP and absolutely destroyed the enemy team. So, like, Nova's, I think, is in a still great spot somehow. Or maybe we just had good follow-up. Tyrael and Rhaegar being picked up here. The Rhaegar not surprising, mostly because the chain heals are going to be pretty beneficial. I would have actually... They could have gone into a Brightwing, potentially. But does that mean that they're going to be dedicating the Greymane for the solo lane? I'm also trying to figure out the solo laner. Is Diablo the solo... So it'd be Diablo up against the Tyrael, maybe? Quick match is fun, though. I always enjoy quick match. I think it's a good time. Is that a human baby or a dog baby? Human baby or dog baby? What? Let's get into this. Talking about some of the like how this matchup's looking right now. I don't know. I like the fight on the side of throwing. But I don't know, like the overall damage and they've got some good control as well as dive on the side of sponsored by Rory. So if they can't counteract it on the side of throwing, I think that might be their downfall. And then again, if they dive a little too early or, you know, are a little too aggressive for some of their other team members, maybe that might be, you know, same kind of situation. But either way, let's get into this. I did the right side yesterday. We'll do the left side today. On the left, we have throwing with Repsychic on the Stukov, Hab Chab on the Diablo, Smalls playing the Vala, Victory on the Gul'dan, and Topher will be rounding it out on the Johanna. On the right-hand side, we have sponsored by Rory with DB Smiley on that Tyrael. Ara going to be playing the Jaina. Kook's going to be playing that ETC. Coldam going to be playing that Greymane. And rounding it out with Smithel on the Rhaegar. Let's get into this. Game number 1 between these two teams on Infernal Shrines. Looks like both teams are going to be going into the mid right here, just seeing a little bit of a pre-fight happening. Also going to be getting that wave clear first because that is the main reason you do this. Mid-wave crashes first, so you obviously want to get that. Rotate off and go into your solo lanes, or start your 4-man rotation. But either way, let's go ahead and see. A little bit of damage going to be going out onto Smalls. Dive out from the ETC, but there isn't much of a follow-up. Victoria taking a little bit of damage, but they're able to kind of back off at this time, and Aura taking a little bit from Victoria from those corruption shots. Now, it looks like Tyrael will be the solo laner in this top position. Who will they be sending on the side? Well, they're actually throwing is actually throwing the majority of their team to the top lane. Vala going to be staying into the mid, and it looks like Topher going to be staying in that bottom position. The rest of the team from Sponsored by Rory rotating back up from that bottom clear. Going to go ahead and clear this mid, and also play a little bit safe at the same time. They can't see some of the members of the team. They're doing this rotation here, so just playing a little bit safe is the smart move, but it looks like the rotations are kind of going backwards. They're going top to mid on the side of throwing, and they're going bottom to mid. Okay, it looks like they've adjusted to follow kind of suit. This camp also being picked up right away on the side of Sponsored by Rory is pretty big for them because of the fact that they will be able to just have that pressure. Now, Hotshot getting a charge in on Kooks there, but no follow-up damage will be there for him. So unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get a pick or anything. Gul'dan going to be going up against DB Smiley in this top lane. Victoria going to be getting quite a big push on him. We'll see if that actually pans out to anything big for them. Now, this camp is going to stall them out a little bit, but at the same time, they have the Joanna in the bottom lane who will be able to soak up a lot of that experience as that's just going to be hit by the towers. Now, and the other thing to factor in here too is that she kind of bodies that damage. Towers are stronger, but we have a lot of damage being thrown out on a couple of members. Hopjob throw it getting so low, and he will be the first one to fall in this fight. Coldam going to go ahead and just... Actually, excuse me, Aura going to be going ahead and sneaking that kill. Coldam just getting that initial burst from the dive there. Whenever I hear the Greymane growl, I'm just like, ooh, that just has to be a Greymane kill, but does not look like it's going to be it. At the same time, they're going to go ahead and rotate down into this camp and just clear this out, create a little bit more pressure, and also the factor I was just about to say, we're at 2:30, we're just about to get the announcements, and this is also bottom lane. That's big for the members Sponsored by Rory, especially with the pressure that they currently have. Kook's going to get thrown over there, but he's going to go ahead and get a huge slide out, going to get that knockback, and Smalls will be falling as well. Hotshot going to be chased down here. Looks like he will be able to get out of there, but at the same time, they still have this camp that is just kind of doing damage to this tower. Going to go ahead and get that charge out, and at the same time creating more pressure, keeping this very fast-paced game. A lot of just, Gul'dan getting caught out here. Victoria going to be falling, so they stagger the death as the Vala gets back. She will be rotating into mid, I would assume, for the clear on this, but overall, this looks like it's going to be the first shrine going over to Sponsored by Rory. These guys are here. They're out for blood, honestly. These... They're getting some of these picks into this game, and they're pretty well set for how they've kind of laid this out for themselves. Vala getting that clear here at this time, but they also get the first Punisher. Will be a frozen Punisher as well. Granted, though, it is the first, so it's 3 minutes into the game, not the most powerful thing, but still, there's a lot of good siege potential for this. We can potentially get maybe a pick off of this if they do get a nice sleep and they also burn down this gate quite quickly. They do get the sidewall, so they do have the dive in from the Tyrael. He will be following up as well. ETC going to slide in. Kook's going to try and knock these members back. Repsychic trying to just get farther away, make sure he keeps his members alive. Hotjob going to be falling in this situation. We do have a couple of the members starting to back up on the side of throwing, and it looks like this is going to be a fort picked up. Actually, DB Smiley diving in once again with Kooks, and Topher going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Aura looks like with low mana going to be kind of playing back a little bit further, helping this Punisher siege the fort. And that's going to be the first fort of the game going over to the members of Sponsored by Rory. They're going to make sure that they clean out that sidewall, get all of that non-existent experience for their team. It actually does provide vision for the enemy team, so it's one of those things that if you can take it out, it is a beneficial factor for your team to kind of also make some of those rotations that potentially you can get a little sneaky around. So it's just one of those things that you're taking another asset of the enemy team away. Looking at this, I'm trying to rotate around the map and find like a nice laning matchup where we can talk about talents and stats, but it's so back and forth so quick. Looks like we actually will finally have some time for that. But overall, looking actually at these, it's interesting. We actually have the Joanna focusing on a lot of the blinding elements here, thinking to try and make sure that they don't really get the burst from that Greymane. Potentially with a double tank, but also kind of two squishy members. I'm curious to see if they're going to be going into, if he'll be taking the Curse Bullet or if he's going to go for the Throat. Mostly because of the fact that the double tank, taking 40% of their health away right away is pretty big. But also, if you can dive on to Smalls and Victory here, I mean that's pretty big. I know it's Victory, but I'm just gonna say Victory. We do have a little bit of a dive from... No? He's just going to get the Aldruin's Might out. Not going to follow up with it. This camp is ready in a couple seconds, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the apple of their eye. 10s have, though, been achieved. So we do have Curse Bullet. We actually have Stage Dive from the ETC. Huh. The Sanctification. So I'm kind of saying, because... Sanctification and Mosh Pit go very well together because if you drop Sank, you Mosh, there's no way you can't APOC through it, you can't Flailing Swipe through it, you can't Condemn through it, you can't Blessed Shield. Small's taking quite a bit of damage here and actually going to be falling. It's just one of those things I'm noting. So it's just, I don't know, there's a lot of pairing, and if you're really going to go this way, maybe Judgment might have been the better option, but we get that ring that came out, but there was no follow-up damage because they really couldn't get through that funnel point on the side of the gate, as well as Coldam, I believe, just got back. So Aura just trying to get a little bit of poke onto that well as well, making sure that they don't get that a little bit extra sustain. And also for this mid lane to work this down is pretty big for them. So I'm not, sorry, I just want to backtrack now just to talk about this a little bit, because it's one of those things that, like, if you went for the Stage Dive, I honestly think that it would have been better to take the Judgment. The way that they're playing this game and how aggressive it is, if they want to take these aggressive talents, I honestly think that the Judgment could have been way cooler for an engage. You get the dive in, you get the Stage Dive down, so you get a stun, a slow, and then you follow up from the rest of the team. But either way, we actually have a little bit of a party bush here. It won't be happening. And see, this is one of those things, like that little corridor right there, that probably could have been a 3-man mosh. So I'm being a little hypercritical, but it's just one of those things that, like, I'm seeing. It's just like, well, let's talk about this a little bit. We have some rotational time. These members, they're going to be playing very safe on the side of throwing until literally right now, when they were looking to get these 10 talents. And we actually have Massive Shove from the Stukov, which is very interesting here. Nothing else out of the ordinary from the rest of the members. We do have Apocalypse coming out. It's going to be connecting onto so many of the members. The Horrified does come out as well. Aura a little bit low here. The ring will come out, but it will not connect on any of the members. Hotshot's still going to be diving in, and looks like the majority of the members of Sponsored by Rory are backing off at this time. And so no one was lost there, but at the same time, a majority of the heroics were burnt. Now, we do have the Aldruin's Might. We do have the Ancestral Healing that is back to out, but Hotshot will be falling. Do not believe he had souls there, so they turn this around after the entire team almost taps well, and actually the Massive Shove pushing DB Smiling right next to Victory. I do not think he'll be able to get out of this one. No, he will actually. He'll be able to die. He won't be diving the fort. But either way, they end up getting the Punisher. They're going to be getting this fort definitely. And actually, jump out onto the Joanna. The Unstoppable wasn't used, I believe, in time. But either way, they do get that bait, and I honestly think that they should have just held it. They should have just gave up the fort and then baited it over this wall. Now, granted, it is going to jump over eventually. It's just one of those things that they could have sieged it a little bit quicker with the keep shots as well. Either way, they still burn it down. They only lose, well, they're going to lose both forts, and the gate will stay up. But at this point, Greymane will be going ahead and rotating down, getting this camp probably. I wouldn't be too surprised to see this camp being picked up by Kooks and DB. Nope, he's just going to be rotating with his team. I was just thinking they would spread themselves across the map and just kind of maybe see if they could pull some members on top. But putting 2 members up here and the Greymane and bottom pick up that camp as well as the ETC over here, this is pretty big for them. Now, DB Smiley going to go ahead and scout this out. Will he have the ability to get out? That is the big question. We currently have the ETC getting the knockback. He will disengage from that camp, which will unleash and go ahead, and they will need to... Ooh, actually, Curse Bolt going to go out into Hotshot, but there is no follow-up damage. He actually is all by himself. Coldam going to be trying to get out of here, but the Blessed Shield has come out. The Condemn is there as well. Greymane almost gets out, but there is the kill from Vala. And at this time, with this camp being tried to pick up so many times, they're not able to actually get it, and they have to back off. So they steal it away on the side of throwing. Pretty big for them. Hotshot going to go ahead and get a stun on to Kooks there. But overall, I mean, this is still in favor of Sponsored by Rory stat-wise, talent-wise. Or, well, I can't really say stat-wise. I haven't really looked at them yet. That's one thing that I should actually pull up for you guys right now. Overall, if you look at the map and you look at the levels, you'd say, oh, this is totally the game for Sponsored by Rory. But you really never know in Here's the Storm. There are so many potential moments where you can get picked out, and the entire tempo of the game can shift. We'll see. Overall, it looks like we are going to have the top camp picked up by Sponsored by Rory as well as throwing. So it looks like these members, they're going to try and bum rush the fight, try and take it, because they don't have really F13, so they need to kind of play safe on the side of throwing, and you can actually see that. They're dedicating the Diablo into the bottom, pick up some extra soak as well. They are starting to chase a little bit here. There is the stage dive in from the ETC, but Horrify has used it right away. Hot Chop going to dive in a little bit, going to be able to get out. The massive shove did not connect. Victoria taking quite a bit of damage. I'm just waiting, like I'm kind of like holding my breath because I'm like diving in, backing off. No, they're just going to go ahead. They give over the fort, back off at this time, and it looks like with that they can honestly... No, I was going to think that they were actually going to push up a little bit more. No, they're going to go ahead, rotate out, push up the lanes, and I guess just get closer to 16s and wait for this shrine to pop. I think we're in the next minute. Nope, 30 seconds. I was like, we're really, really close. It's like 30 or a minute. I can't remember. So we do have this little bit of a party bush. Now, we do get the stun onto the ETC. He does get the knockback. There is a lot of damage going out, but there wasn't the follow-up stun. We do have the ring that goes out. It does connect onto the Stukov here. Hot Chop gonna go ahead. Okay. I was gonna say, does he get any dismount and follow-up? No, they're gonna go ahead and just let them disengage here. They'll get the clear. This should push them to 13, so this is exactly... I mean, they don't want to lose out here, and this isn't really the best time for the fight, because if they do lose a couple members, that could be 16s. But Kooks, once again, going to scout this out. DB Smiley doing the exact same thing. The Apocalypse does come out. They get the flip right onto it. One of the members is getting currently shredded, but the Ancestral Healing does come out and keep them alive without a problem. There is the Sanctification used by the Tyrael. They do get the dive in from Coldam, but he is getting a little bit low. At the same time, Hot Chop falling so low himself. There is the roll from the Greymane, does get the kill. Actually, Tyrael getting the kill onto the Diablo there. Small is having to back off, and they get the follow-up kill onto the Stukov, as well as Victory. And that looks like it is going to be the majority members falling there, and they are going to get another Punisher at this time. I don't think the members of throwing have gotten a Punisher this game. I'm trying to remember. But at this point, I mean, realistically, they can just kind of side soak the lanes. They don't want to go out too far. Getting 16s is really, really hard at this time, so maybe they can risk trying to get a camp. And that's exactly what they're going to kind of do. I'm kind of peeking at the map a little bit here. So they're going to go ahead and just pick up this camp, get a little bit of just side pressure going, and just have Diablo soak up and also kind of get it closer to back to his stacks. Where's he sitting, by the way, on souls? Looks like 0. Or no, excuse me, 12. I was looking at something else there. So he is only at 12 souls. Hey, Eliobs, can you put like a little souls thing right there? That'd be cool. Thank you. We do also have Jaina just holding this out. It's very interesting. Just are going to hold that out. I mean, if you just... Are they just... They're trying to create pressure in all the lanes, and then they're going to get the last one, aren't they? No. Okay, there it is. So they pulled the entire team bottom, actually, and that's really, really big because this gives time for the Punisher to rotate down the lanes, but they actually have the dive in. Kook's going to get the knockback, I think, right in time. They're trying to chase this. They really want to try and get it as they're down one member. It'd be a 5v4, and they would have that advantage. They could just get that solo pick. That'd be huge for them, but now they need to be on the retreat because they are currently getting Dovan. Small's in a really bad position, but the Horrify does come out. There is the Blessed Shield that doesn't connect, and it looks like a massive shove was used, but it does not connect as well, and that is going to be Vala falling very early. The Sanctification was used. There is the knockback from the Holy Ground that puts them back into the ring that was pulled out by Aura, and it looks like this is going to potentially be a team wipe here, but the silence does go out. Okay, so they don't have the dive onto Repsychic, and they're going to go ahead, burn down this one keep, probably rotate up into the top to let their Punisher through, and do they have enough time to do all that and end? Because this is still death timers. I mean, Vala's up in 6, and they're not even on core. Punisher's at about 50% health. Smith'll actually going to be walking away at this time and going to go start that camp. Do you have the dive onto the Vala? No, I don't think they could have. I think that was the right call. It would have been, if they did, it would have been extremely close. Granted, they do have 16 advantage. They do have Holy Ground. They did have a couple of the other heroics up. I do believe Ancestral and Curse Bullet were available at that time, so either way, I think they had it. But one way or another, this is the factor that I personally get into is this late game. You can be this confident and still just end up losing. It's just one of those games because, you know, so currently we have the Greymane working on a camp. There's no damage. If they actually get a little bit of damage onto some of these members, it would be big. But the factor is, sponsored by Rory knows that there is a Gul'dan and Vala in top, so there wasn't anyone to pick up some of these members. Because, I mean, these tanks, yes, they are tanks and they have a high health pool, but if Diablo does get a nice, you know, flip charge, and then you have Vala getting stuns, and Stukov's got a silence, I mean, you can eventually burn down a tank, and this late into the game, that's pretty big. You can get a lot of good value for your team, especially being this close to 16s. Even talent tiers, you can maybe chase a fight, you can get a little bit more map control. You know, there's a lot of small factors, and I'm being hypercritical, and I'm just, oh, there's a huge bush dive onto the Vala. She blows up there. There is the Unstoppable used onto Topher. That also, just a side note, there is the Corruption Stacks finished by Gul'dan. Blind was out from Topher, and just to kind of slow them down a little bit, as well as the silence, but it looks like with that, they're going to start, you know, they really want to open this up on the side of Sponsored by Roar, making sure that the next Punisher that looks like they're aiming to get is bottom, is just going to be kind of walking up to the core rather than having to deal with a keep. On the side of Sponsored by Rory, though, they are just a wee bit away from 20s here. We're going to see what they're going to be picking up in just a second once they get like one or two more minions. A little bit of a dive onto the keep. They're pushing up the lane from Kooks. So 20s are achieved, and we will go ahead and take a peek at that. So we do have the Storm Shields coming out from the Rhaegar. Jaina actually going to be taking Bolt. ETC going to take that power up on the stage dive there. We have the Hunter's Blunder Bliss, I believe. Yes. And we have the upgrade. I think it's Holy Arena. Yes. So we're going to have Holy Arena coming out. And the upgrade to stage dive, I believe, Crowd Pleaser. So you get the cooldown per hero hit with that, and I believe there's also an initial cooldown within itself. Plus there's a greater area, and I think no, it's just bigger, and it's reduced by hero hit. With this, though, I mean, they've honestly created so much pressure, and this is a really, really big thing. So they're going to try and defend this, so they're already pinging for it. Topher going to get the blind out. It looks like the rest of the team will be rotating down in time, well, not in time, but they're gonna be following this up. It looks like they want to take this fight at this time, though. Curse Bolt does go out. We do have the root on two. Ooh, Apocalypse does come out. They get a bunch of damage out. The ring does come out as well. A huge amount of damage going on into Vala. Going to be falling here first. Currently have the massive shove coming out from Stukov, pushing the ETC into the, oh my god, all the way into his fort. But that was so long that it actually was just. The GGs are thrown out, and that is going to be game number 1 going over to Sponsored by Rory. I was looking at ETC flying across the bottom of the map, and I was laughing, just like trying so hard not to laugh. And then he just stage dives right back into the fight. He's just like, hey, I'm back. So, first game going over to Sponsored by Rory. GG, well played. To Tomb of the Spider Queen. And Badcaster's bad, didn't update the score. There we go. Caitlin, also thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. All right, we'll close this. We'll close this eventually. We'll close this raffle at some point. But it is, once again, it is for a Diva skin code. I know it's a Diva skin code, but hey, we'll raffle something off. That's gonna be the fun for our night right now. But all right, going into Tomb of the Spider Queen, throwing did. So since throwing chose the first map, they are gonna have first pick, first ban on game number 2. So. Looking back at that game, I would honestly I would maybe consider banning out. Oof. I was gonna say maybe consider banning out the Greymane because it was pretty strong for them. But ooh, actually no, they're gonna get rid of the ETC. I like that. No, it's okay, Archangel. I appreciate it. And also, Caitlin, or Callan. I'm going to say Caitlin. I don't know why, but it's Callan. I actually do have a new emote that I think I should be working on. I was talking with my buddy earlier. But yeah, no, there should be a new emote coming. I think we're going to do something reaction-based or something. We're going to do some, like, Rage or something, because since there's going to be a lot more Hero League played, we're doing, like, some Hero League themes things with my artists, so I like this. What are they going to ban out, though, on the side of sponsored by Rory? All right, so we're going to close ban, like, we'll close the raffle around the next... Jaggins! Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you so much again. Oh, all right. That's it. Yeah. So it's the... I need to use the smaller file size because when it comes on, it's too big of a file size for stream, I think. So I'll have to edit that. But my artist, he did send me a smaller file size, and I was actually talking to him earlier, and he was just like, oh... Like, he was just like, oh, yeah, no, it's like, really cool because there's a big file and a small file, so if you want less or more space on it, I'm like, I honestly didn't even look at the small file. I was just like, big file, go. Like, it works perfectly. Because we were rearranging it so it does pop out of the side of the screen over there. But wow, these guys are, they're really waiting to choose here. Sonya going to be picked up first here on the side of throwing? And I don't think that's a throwing choice at all. I really like the Sonya pickup. I think she's a very, like, extremely strong hero. Great for, you know, you typically put her in the solo lane, but in the later half of the game when you do need her for those fights, she does provide quite a bit. So that's definitely something that I would be a little bit afraid of on the side of sponsored by Rory. But there are things that you know, you can go ahead and also kind of pick up that make her life a little difficult. Curious to see, are we going to see an early Sylvanas? Is sponsored by Rory going to be taking that? We are going to be seeing an early Sylvanas. And then do we just have a tank with that? Something like an Anubarak wouldn't be bad here. I also kind of like Stitches. But no, they're going to go ahead and pick up the Greymane with that as well. I like that. So they're picking up two strong heroes right off the bat. But it does kind of leave them a little bit more limited when it gets into the later half when we also see... We're probably going to get a tank, and I wouldn't be too surprised to... Well, It's cool. Keep promoting. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And also, did I correct myself on the second time? Kaylin? Or, sorry, Kalin. I don't know why I say Kaylin. Like, it's like, it's Kalin. All right. Hopefully I got it right on the Kalin. There we go. I read everything phonetically, and so I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's how it works. I don't get it either. But either way, my whole point is that I honestly think that they should probably be picking up definitely their healer in this situation. Lucio would be phenomenal if they're going to be making 4-man rotations between mid and top. Put that Sonya in bottom lane, and then you just pick up either wave clear with that, like a Kael'Thas, Gul'dan, or you just pick up a tank like Muradin. Definitely, though, I think they should be going for the... Ooh. So they pick up... So they do go for the mage. They go for the Jaina. She will be their wave clear. Joanna for the grouping is not a bad idea at all. I don't really consider her too much on... I don't know, like, I always put her a little bit lower on the priority list just because I feel like there are a lot of very, very strong tanks that are just like, yes, but... And that's how I feel a lot with Joanna sometimes. It's just like, Joanna's good here. It's like, yeah, but... there's some other choices. We're going to be closing raffle probably as I'm talking about it right now. Closing raffle in about 2 minutes. So I'll just let everyone know that we are going to be closing raffle, and they should get their last little ooh. Get your last little bits in. Lucio being banned out. Huh. I honestly would have thought that Sponsored by Rory would have picked it up because they were first ban, or first pick after the ban phase. They do need a healer. I think he's very strong. Unless they have something else in mind, they're going to Cho'Gall. So that's why they're just like, oh, we don't need Lucio because we're just going to get an Ariel and just Cho'Gall these guys. That's really what's going to happen. Arthas looking to be the ban on the side of throwing, though. Not a bad idea. Strong solo lane. A little annoyance for Sonya if they do go down that route. All right, yeah, that's good. All right, so I got it like the third, fourth time. So try and make sure I don't mess up. All right. Let me just peek over at stream just to see where we are. All right, we got some time. All right. Yeah, I can pause really quick, Smithel. Looks like they're having some computer issues they want to fix right at the start of the game. So once we get in, I'll go ahead and just pause it really quick. Okay, so let's talk about these next two picks here, and then we'll be closing out the raffle really quick. I like the Tyrael. Do they go for it again? So they go for the Leoric as well as the Malfurion. Not a bad idea at all. Leoric offering some decent solo laning as well as his own self-sustain. Yeah, no, I actually really like this out of them. It's just those early game picks were throwing me off just a wee bit there. Because it's just like how picking into that kind of stuff is a little risky because you kind of show your draft a little bit. I mean, it shows that it's a dive comp. The Malfurion is interesting, though. Now, Malfurion's very interesting. Who's going to be... Are they going to be going into the Tranquility or the Twilight Dream? Either way, let's go ahead and close this raffle. All right. We'll close it. And let's go ahead and draw it. And hey! Kendo Hots, congratulations on your win. Message me here on Twitch or on message me here on Twitch or on Discord, wherever you want to get in contact, and I'll throw you the Diva skin code. And make sure, like, let me know if it works, because I can't remember if I have like about 10 of these, and I'm only on like the 4th or 5th, and I can't remember if it's the 4th or the 5th. So I'll go ahead and if that one doesn't work, just let me know and I'll get you the next one down. But I'll have a replacement if that one does. Okay. Oh, the draft, it has been closed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the one member who was looking.
Stitches want to play.
Stitches in that last slot. Interesting. Decent hook targets. I mean, they don't really, some of them don't really have an out. Yeah, this will be interesting. I'm curious to see how they're gonna be, how they'll be playing this one. Either way, let's get into this. I'm absolutely ecstatic about this. Pause break. On the left-hand side, we have throwing with Smalls on the Sonya, Victory on the Jaina there. Hobjob going to be playing the... Oh, God, I do not know that skin. I apologize. The Vala? That's okay. It's also throwing me off because he was just on the Diablo. Either way, Topher going to be playing the Joanna, and Psychic going to be playing that dancing Wolf Boy Rhaegar. On the right hand side, we have sponsored by Rory with Kooks playing the Stitches. Ara going to be on that Sylvanas. Coldam going to be playing the Greymane. DB Smiley on that Leoric, and Smithel rounding them out on the new Furion. So we'll go ahead and have these teams kind of match up a little bit here in the mid. Oh man, I'll have to come back to that question, Mike. We do have a kill onto the Lyric. We can talk about that in between games. That's actually a really good conversation topic. Actually, we can talk about the new meta and where it kind of sits, I guess. I'm not the authority on it, but I can give you what I think about it. So overall, we're going to be having a couple of the members splitting off into lanes here. It looks like we do actually have Topher going up against DB Smiley. It's interesting. I would have thought you would have put your Sonya down there just because she's a little bit more bruisery, but a little bit of damage going out onto Coldam there, but the friendly hook from Kooks gets him out safely. They rotate into mid onto Smalls. Looks like he will have to back off there, playing a little bit safe, making sure he doesn't get caught out too early here. He did have that very early kill onto one of the members of Throwing here. And looks like once again it's just going to be another rotation out from the members of Sponsored by Rory, and we're going to probably be seeing this for the majority of the game here. Now looking at bottom, Topher going to be getting pushed in a little bit here by DB Smiley, also throwing out these sprays. Topher just responding in kind with probably the best spray in the game. Hook going to be going out onto Hobjob there. Slam going out from Kooks, but it looks like it won't be enough to get the kill. Definitely enough to make them run back for the well there. But once again, they're going to be rotating up into top from just to get the soak as well as just get these gems. And realistically, it's a game of just maybe catching one member out of position as well as getting to 50 gems first. Once you get those, I mean, honestly, it's 7's 10 area. That's definitely the area where I'm as a caster, I'm like, all right, this is when this match starts. Otherwise, it's just, you lane, you play safe, you get your gems, you don't go out too far. And that's it. You rotate as a tight team, make sure you push up, or well, excuse me, you don't need to push up, but they did a little bit. They're also these rotations are quite quick. A few of these members though on the side of Throwing gonna go ahead and pick up this camp very, very early in the match. Gonna try and get a little bit of mid lane pressure, try and pull these members down from this top mid rotation, delay them a little bit here. Maybe, slow down these rotations, get the pacing in their own favor. Smalls will go ahead and get a little bit of help on this clear from the camp, as well as a couple members from the team. They do also have Victoria in that top, going to be rotating down at this time. Gonna be able to maybe get some damage onto Aura there. She's a little far up onto that top side. She can poke into that shadowed area, but it does not look like it'll be happening. Small's trying to get some damage onto some of these members, but Joanna at this time going to be rotating in with the team. Oh, nope. Topher actually going to be trying to get the delay onto the Leoric, but I don't think it was in time. DB Smiley turning in those 15 gems off, right off the bat there. So that's pretty big. Talking stat-wise, just as we're kind of getting into this, it looks like we're not looking at anything too crazy. We do have the Lost Soul, which it's not typically something that I've seen, but in a map like this, I can completely see the reason for the choice. You definitely are getting that cooldown onto that talent, especially if you are rotating as a 5-man and spreading that to 4 members consistently. That is a definite cooldown that you can utilize. And ooh, actually a huge dive onto Victoria, and they will get that kill. Now here's the thing: can they? Joanna will pop Unstoppable, try and pick up a few of the gems. Does get one of them, and that will, they won't lose all of it, but that's still, I think that was like 17. That's quite a bit to lose there. Now going into this top lane, it looks like, sponsored by Rory, they really want to prioritize this lane, and there's a reason for that, because this is the boss lane. This is probably one of the most important lanes on this map, because the fact that you get this Web Weaver, you can rotate, and you maybe get a couple kills. After this Web Weaver phase, you rotate back, you pick up boss, you go straight into a keep front gate. So especially on a map like this, you can definitely get a lot of value and a lot of push power from your top lane. And that's the main reason why we see the focus on it. The other factor too is Leoric is just going to go ahead and soak the furthest lane away, which is bottom. And now also the fact that now that the team has rotated up and they got that clear, they're just going to rotate into mid. That one's already been getting the gate. They also have 7s here too, so this is something that they're a little bit afraid of on the side of Throwing. But once again, ooh, actually a hook going to go on to his Psychic, but that will not be enough for the kill onto him. Sonya will be falling very quickly. They do get the well as well. And then Topher going to get another condemn onto a couple of these members, but they also block some of the members of throwing from picking up the last little bit of these gems. Kooks should have a hook. Maybe they're going to be able to pull one of the members as they're making this retreat, but it actually looks like they want to take a fight in this time before they hit 10s. Hook goes out, but it does not connect onto his Psychic there, which was probably the target. Overall, though, it looks like they will be kind of pressuring this a little bit. They'll rotate up into top, get the clear, and maybe even the boss. They're postured for it. The rest of the team has been put into bottom. Do they make the call? No. 50 gems, though, are achieved on the side of throwing, so they can try and sneak this in. This will buy them a little bit of time to de-push the lanes, get them closer to 10s, though it would be a little bit of a waste, at least in my opinion, just to kind of throw them in, just to have that turn in so you can buy that time. But realistically, it's one of their few options now. DB Smiley taking quite a bit of damage. Looks like he's going to get chased by Smalls there, but Jane are going to be falling quite early in that fight, as Smalls is kind of pulled away from the team. Going to get the kill onto that Leoric, dropping quite a few gems, but Smalls is a little bit far from the team. Going to get cleansed out from Psychic there, making sure that they just get out of there fine. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Jaina fell pretty early there, so she is going to be popping back first. And the other factor too to consider is that the one that fell was the character who has the whole trait about dying very early. So Leoric back on the map, and he's literally on the map. He's in the team fight. They're ready to go. They don't have enough for turn-in, but the Gorge does go out because they do have 10s now. Curse Bullet, looks like we do have the Entomb, which will actually be blocking Psychic. Not a lot of focus. The Wailing Arrow goes out from Aura there. It looks like they're going to be trying to get onto Victoria. The roll forward from Greymane, trying to get a little bit of damage, but it will not connect. The hook does go out onto Victoria. Do they have enough follow-up? There is the root from the Malfurion, and they pick up another kill. Aura pinging that they, or at least someone pinging that they want to go ahead and pick this up, since Sylvanas is already right here. Then I guess they can go back and get that mana that they so need. But overall, I mean, that's a good pickup for them, creating a lot of this pressure, and this is what we saw in the last game, and I kind of had talked with that about that is the fact that they've created a lot of good pacing in their favor. So to keep that going is very, very important for them, because the fact that as long as these lanes are just keep getting pressured up, and they have to rotate and respond to everything that Sponsored by Rory is doing, throwing will not really have the opportunity to get that leg up, get closer, close the experience gap, because as you can see, they're spreading themselves across here, they're picking up camps, they're pushing out the lanes that they know they can, which is very smart. You know, they have 11 here, they can take the fight, but at this time, that doesn't look like it's the priority for them. They're just going to go ahead and create a lot of lane pressure. This turn-in will be happening. Ooh, Hot Shop, do you have enough? There is... Ooh, the cocktail doesn't go out. They actually get the turn-in. And so that is going to be the first turn-in for the members of Throwing. So this will actually push down a lot of these lanes and a lot of this pressure that they've created on the side of Sponsored by Rory. And it also gives them a chance to get closer to 10s themselves on the side of Throwing and, you know, even this up. Maybe even take a team fight with their Web Weavers. But we will get there in a moment. Victoria currently in the top lane. They're actually spreading a lot of their members across this map, and it looks like, Sponsored by Rory, they just want to go ahead and start top down and just start to burn these Web Weavers away. They're also going to spread a little bit of damage onto this fort and actually move onto it. Kook's going to start damaging it. They kind of ignore the Web Weaver a little bit, and it looks like that will be the top fort falling. Mid got pushed out a little bit. Now 10s are achieved on the side of Throwing. So we do have Sonya taking Leap. We have Ring, Falling Sword. We have Rain of Vengeance as well as Ancestral Healing. So we'll see this. We currently have Falling Sword being used going into the backline, but it's both tanks. We do have a Ring of Frost that goes out. It is going to connect onto the Malfurion here. There is a Twilight Dream that does get one of the members there. Smithel actually able to get out alive. We do lose the Jaina and the Sonya right there. Cleanse is used onto Hotshot, but there is a pull right back. Slam goes out, and they pick up that kill. Topher going back to try and maybe just slow them down a little bit, but DB Smiley getting that chase. A little bit of the Spectral Leech onto him to get a little bit of healing. Spray goes out, and it looks like they will go ahead and have to clear out the pressure that was started by the members of Throwing. Now, granted, these Web Weavers, they do lose health over time, but the other factor too is these waves, they've really amassed, and so the fact that they crashed into these towers, that, you know, that was a free tower right there. You could watch it on stream how quickly it burned down. Maybe they need a little bit more health. I've been hearing that a lot, and you know, watching towers just melt like butter, I could probably agree with that statement. So while the members were down clearing that, it looks like they're going to take a really, really ballsy move on the side of Throwing. They're going to go and take this boss. Now, at the same time, they have enough gems for the turn-in on the side of Sponsored by Rory. So now that the boss hasn't disappeared, they know that they're there. They're going to rotate, but it's just way too late. So this top lane, the push isn't going to be mitigated by any means, but it definitely will be Ooh, actually, if they get a pull and the unstoppable the cleanse is used, but the ring goes out and it does actually connect onto a couple of the members. The stun goes out, but they get the gorge. Kook's taking quite a bit of damage. Stitches will be falling, but Victoria is going to be the next one to fall as well. Topher getting the condemn just for that little bit of stun. Slow goes out from DB Smiley. Does not look like there'll be enough. Psychic doubling back for a hot second. He does have Ancestral in a few seconds. I don't know if he's going to be using it. Hot Chop did drop from the game. Are we going to be getting a pause? I do not. It's. Let's get back into this. Alrighty, so either way, we do have these web weavers currently sieging on to the bottom. It looks like they will go ahead and just take the bot at this time. One of their members did lose power completely, and I don't think it is going to be coming back anytime soon. So Hook does go out onto smalls here. It looks like they do get the root as well. The cleanse is used. They're trying to save, but there is the wall. Joanna using the falling sword. Leap is used as well. Huge silence, though, out from the Malfurion, but it is not enough. And realistically, a lot of ultimates used, not a kill to be followed up, unfortunately. So at this time, we do just have these members just kind of... Ooh, actually another hook going out onto the Sonya. It's almost the exact same thing. I was looking at it, I was like, wait, are we looking at the same thing? But Greyman going to take a double helping of the Rain of Vengeance there, and that's going to be pretty big. They're going to start to turn on some of these members. DB Smiley taking a little bit of damage, going to be able to get out of there. Also, there is a condemn out from Topher, just trying to pull them back. There is Aura trying to go through the wall, but she does have the second set of Banshees to be able to get out of there. Now, Smalls was going in for a little bit of a fight there. Not going to be panning out for him. Kooks, does he have a hook? No. So, either way, I mean, they get that kill into the Greymane, who just bodied two of those Rain of Vengeances. Oh my god. And a standstill wolf boy is usually a dead wolf boy, so they do get that kill. Gives them a little bit of time to kind of push back these lanes. Some of the members are going to be playing a little bit safe on the side of sponsored by Rory, but either way, at this time, we don't have Webweaver turn in for either team. Boss isn't up. It looks like they'll pick up a couple camps here and there and just kind of play this game safe. But, I don't know, on the side of sponsored by Rory, they could set up for a little bit of a gank here. We currently have Kooks just showing in that, he's showing for us in that bush. They also do have 16s. We do have that, there's that Cold Embrace. We also have the slams. We have the Pulverize onto the slam right there, so it definitely does have that slow, which is going to be big for them if they get hooks into the later half of the game. Another Rain of Vengeance is going to be coming out from Vala the Leoric using his Ghost form to mitigate some of the damage. Ring of Frost goes out, but it doesn't connect on any of the members. Topher going to be driving down at this time. DB Smiley falling a little bit low. Sonya going to be falling, trying to leap onto cooldown, doesn't work out. Actually getting in the Ancestral Heal. Going out onto Topher, we have Victory taking quite a bit of damage now, actually also getting hooked into that back lane. Topher trying to body a little bit. There isn't really a focus. Greyman going to be diving out. There is the condemn from Topher, but it is not going to be enough to save the Jaina, and that is also going to be a Gorge Joanna. The hook does not connect onto his Psychic, and Topher will be falling. They also get the Web Weavers exactly at that moment too, and I would not be too surprised to see this bottom lane get pushed in. Unfortunately, he's throwing in spirit. I like how they're still having fun with this. This is Mike DPPM. Thank you. That's what I was trying to figure out. If it was Mike PPM or Mike. Oh, so it's Mike DPPN. Either way, we currently have a lot of the damage going out onto this keep, as well as this huge entomb, which Ice Block is used by the Jaina. Small's a little bit low. There is the falling sword, but it is not enough to save that Jaina. They do. Oh my god, Topher, are you able to get out? The roots are there, and that won't be enough. Haha, GGs are called out, and it looks like they're going to move on to the core at this time. Leap are going to be going out from the Sonya, but it is not going to be enough. They're going to be getting that Gorge. A lot of damage going out here. There is the silence, but that is going to be game number 2 going over to sponsored by Rory. GG, well played.